Alright, so welcome back to another episode of the 100 Days Design Challenge with Xpress-Pixels, and today we'll be designing another flyer. So we're just going to dive right into it, no time for much talk. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pick my canvas size, okay? I'm working with this canvas size of 1024 by 1024. I'm just going to create. Good. So let this take up the whole space. Alright, so now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to import my background, okay? So let me just go to my resources R and let me import my background. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to drag this and drop side of Photoshop. Let me just increase it. Increase here also. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to hue on this. Alright, so I'm going to click. Alright, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shape tool right here. I'm going to select this, my shape tool here. I'm going to click on this, but I'm going to select rectangle tool, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag right on top of this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag here. Alright, I'm going to drag here. Good. So I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment first. Let me adjust the radius of the corners. Let me just adjust the radius. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do here, I'm just going to raise this up. I'm going to click on the shift and control key and I'm just going to drag this up. Alright. Good. So I'm just going to change the color of this also. I'm going to click here and then I'm going to change the color to something. Let me drag this to yellow and I'm going to change the color to something. I think this is okay, and then I'm going to click on OK. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm just going to I'm going to press Alt and then I'm going to drag it. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate this. So to get a perfect angle, I'm just going to press Shift and then I'm going to rotate here. So I'm going to get a perfect angle. Alright. Good. So now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to import the next resource I'll be using. So the next resource I'll be using is I'm just going to come here. We have my resources. So I'm going to start with this. So let me reduce this. I want to place this here. Like that. Then I'm going to come here. I'm just going to drag this and drop some Photoshop. Alright, so I'm just going to reduce this. I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to place this here also. So let me still reduce it. Alright, I think this is good. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is now let's start with this first. Let's start editing with this first. The first plate of food I added here. So what I'm going to do now, to this plate of food is going to be directly on top the first rectangle I added initially, and then I'm going to clip it. So I'm going to write, before I do that, let me just Control J to duplicate this, and then the one directly on top of the rectangle, I'm going to create a clipping mask. So you just right click on it and then you select the create clipping mask. Okay, good. So now the next thing I want to do, this one right on top of it, I'm just going to come here and then I'm going to select this top part. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to separator. Good. So let me just push this inside. So I'm going to select this one I clipped and this other one that I cut out, and then I'm going to just move it in a bit. Just press shift and then move it in a bit. Good. So I'm going to repeat the same thing here. So this plate of food, I'm going to duplicate it, Ctrl J to duplicate, and then this one directly on top the rectangle, I'm just going to right click on it, and then I'm going to create a clipping mask. Good. Now this one on top here, I'm just going to go to my crop tool, my rectangular marquee tool, and then I'm just going to crop along here. So I'm going to take caution so I don't get to the bottom here. Okay, now the clipped part entered inside, so I just want to create an illusion of the plate coming out of the triangle, I mean of the rectangle. So I'm just going to create a layer mask. Good. So let me just select this and this together, and then let me just move them down. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to add the name this. So I'm just going to add the word here. I'm going to take my text tool, I'm going to add the word here. Let's say jollof rice, JOLLOF, jollof rice. So let me reduce the size of this. So let me duplicate this also, and let me just change this to fried rice. Fried. Next time, right. Let me change this font. So I'm just going to come to. So I'm just going to come to my. So let me increase this a bit. So I'm going to come to my properties here, and then I'm going to change the font to. Sorry. Let me use the word font terminal test. Okay, terminal test. So I'm going to select the terminal test bold. Alright. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the same thing here also. I'm going to change this font to terminal test bold. Okay, I'm going to select terminal test, and then I'm going to change it to bold. Terminal test bold. Good. So now the next thing I want to do is, let me just drag this in a bit. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to my shape tool, and then I'm going to select, just going to go to my shape tool here, and I'm going to select the ellipse tool this time around. The ellipse tool this time around. Let me just close this again. I'm going to select the ellipse tool this time around, and then I'm just going to press shift so I get a perfect circle, and then I'm just going to place this right here. Alright, so I'm going to add a color of about, let's say, orange. So I'm going to just double click on this here, and then you can select your color orange. Okay, so to this color, I'm going to just drag this and place it here. Good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a text here. Let's say $10. So shift dollars. Control A. Let me change the color to white. Alright, so this font I used terminal test does not have the dollar in it. So I can just change. There's a font that looks exactly like this, so I can just change it to that. So that's a monument. Alright, I can just select the monument, and this should work. Alright, I'm going to reduce this and place this inside this orange. And the orange circle. Let me just duplicate this. Press Alt, duplicate this, the same thing here. So let's assume that both sold for the same price. I'm going to duplicate this too and drop it here. Alright, now let's just make a bit of a change here. Let's just reduce the dollars, okay, so that the number itself stands out. So I'm just going to double click on this, and then the dollar, I'm going to reduce this, to reduce the size of this. Okay, I want the figure itself to stand out. So let me just delete this copy here and just delete it. Let me just press Alt and then I'll drag and drop here. So Alt, drag and drop. Good. Alright, so let's move forward. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to add the text here. So I'm just going to let me just duplicate this. Just press Alt and duplicate this here. So the text I want to add is, before that, let me just select all of this and move it down. Okay, I want to create space at the top. Let me just move this down. Alright, so what I want to add now, I want to add the text new dishes and drinks. So I'm just going to edit this. So new NEW. So new. Then let me change the color of this. Okay. And let me give it a bolder font. Let me make it black. No, let's change our font to blue jean. I'm going to be using the font blue jean. Let me just increase this here. Alright, so the same thing, so I'm going to change the font of this to blue jean. Let me just select the blue jean here. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to add another text. Okay, so let me just drag this, let me duplicate this here. Now the text I want to add is dishes and drinks. So let me just add the word dishes. The next line, drinks. Good. So I'm going to change this color to this color here. And then I'm going to click OK in this color here. I'm going to click OK. Alright. Let me just move this in a bit. Let me space this out. Let me space that out. Let me increase this. Good. So let me just reduce this so that it aligns. Let me reduce this a bit so it aligns with this. I'm going to drag this down a bit. Good. So I'm going to take these dishes and these dishes drinks behind the food. Okay, I don't want it showing anywhere. Sorry, I'm going to take it behind the food. I don't want it showing anywhere near the food. Alright, good. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to add the drop shadow to this one here. I'm going to add a drop shadow here. So drop shadow. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to this one, just the one at the back here. I'm going to drop shadow also. Drop shadow. And now just click OK. Alright, now so the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to add, so let me duplicate this of this. I'm just going to add the logo. Let's assume the website or whatever I'm designing for. So www. Let's say your logo or your website.com. Your website. So I'm going to select this. Let me change the color also to this here. So you can just use your color picker to pick and then OK. So let me change the font weight. I'm just going to use regular and then I'm going to reduce the size of this. So I'm just going to reduce the size of this. Reduce the top. Alright, that's good. And then the next thing I want to do is, I want to add a bit of text on the side. Okay, so I'm just going to take my text too and then I'm going to drag along here. Good, so I'm going to drag along. Alright, so the text I want auto, I'm going to reduce the size of the text. Alright, so let me change the color of the text to this color here. Okay, and then let me align the text to the left side. Good. So I'm just going to raise this up here. Let me duplicate this. Just press Alt and then I'm going to drag this to this other side. Alright, so I'm going to align the text also, but this time not on this other side. Good. Alright, so that's it. So let me just give it space. Okay. Alright, now so we add one more resource. Okay, so the resource I'll be adding is this. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to drag this and drop out of Photoshop. And then the next thing I want to do is, so I'm just going to blend it. Okay, so I'm going to select my blend. I'm going to pick here where you have your normal showing. I'm going to blend it using with the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate these. So let me first rotate it to a perfect angle. Alright, so I want to place this here first. Okay, let me reduce this a bit. And then the next thing I want to do, let me just duplicate this. So Alt, then enter. So Alt, and then let me drag again here. But this time I'm going to rotate this. Okay, so I form this perfect angle. Now I'm going to drag this and drop here. Good. Alright, so with that we've come to the end of our design for today. I hope you learned something new and I would really love to see you in the next video. Please do well to like, share and subscribe. Alright, have a wonderful day.